This is the thing. If a business is totally reliant on you, it's not reliable. That also sparked me to get it together with the teams, get the systems together, because if you really want to solve this problem in the world, it's going to take more of you to do it so that we could serve more and we could serve better. I hope that makes sense.
Welcome to Those Odd Numbers podcast. My name is Jason Snyder. I'm the founder and CEO of Main Street Financial Group. We are your fractional finance team.
I'm Summer McFarland. I'm a CPA and certified tax coach. I'm also the co-owner of Main Street Tax Group, where we do strategic tax planning so you can keep more of what you earn.
I am Mashika Turner, and I am the owner of Bright Skies Business Services. We are your outsourced accounting firm and profit first strategies. And we are here to help you create wealth through your business by gaining clarity around your numbers.
Hello, and welcome again to Those Odd Numbers. My name is Jason Snyder. I'm here with Mashika Turner and Summer McFarland. And today we're going to continue our series on metaphysics. I don't know how long we're going to go, but I think we got 2 or 3 more episodes after this as well, covering on this subject. And today's one is basically going to be alignment, the term Ikigai, which I think some people, but I'll define it further, and that relationship with money things. And in the Western discussion, alignment gets overused, I think, as a term. So I'll define it here for our conversation. And that's being in parallel, or where you're not pushing against or having too much effort to achieve some particular activity. And obviously, we're going to be talking about business, and alignment for this case is doing something that you enjoy doing successfully. That's how I would define it. There's probably a lot more definitions out there, but for our discussion, I think that's what we're going to use. And the other term you'll hear today is Ikigai. And again, a lot of online discussions about that, but I'll define it for our discussion today. It comes from a Japanese word, alignment, I guess, a reason to wake up in the morning, to live, being aligned. That kind of has those components to the word. And the popular online term of that is 4 elements. Do what you love. What are you good at? What does the world need? And what you can get paid for? And with those definitions, that's what we're going to be using in our short little episode discussion today on those topics. Then I think all of us have got a personal story that we can share as well of what that means, I don't know, for us per se, but and then also that you can take some of those concepts and see how it well plays out in your business, in your life as well. Again, this is the part of the broader, so if this is your first episode with us, this is a little bit of a series, I would say a derivative series, but psychology, metaphysics, behavior all feed into money decisions and how money is used. And so it's something we can't ignore. It's easier to talk about the black and white of money as we refer to it, ones and zeros, decimal points. It's all very clear, and that relationship 1 + 1 = 2. But we're going to be in the behavioral aspects of it this next few episodes. So I'll turn over to Mashika for the first sharing of it, and we'll go around and share our own stories of these.
Yes, so I love that. I've always heard the term dharma, which is purpose, the problem you want to solve and how you align yourself with solving that problem in the world. And that so resonates with me because I think about my mother, who was always getting into some type of ventures. And she knew how to do the venture side, but the money side, there was always something that didn't quite add up as far as the things she needed to do for the business side of it. And as I got more and more into this work, I realized that subconsciously, there was a part of me wanting to give my clients the help that I didn't give my mother. Of course, as a kid, I didn't know all this and I didn't put the connections together. But it was so funny because she always had an energy where she could just make money. But when she got it, it didn't always work out because it seemed like it was like sometimes she had water in her hands. She would get it and it would just fall through. And it was funny because man, woman, black, white, in between, I had a period where every client just about that I got had the same issue. They could make money, but couldn't do a doggone thing with it once they got it. It was just like they got it and it was gone. And of course, the more and it, I was like, oh my goodness. But then it just was a reminder to me of the universe. Of course, we don't always get into that on the accounting side, but all of that is real. All of that is real as far as the behaviors and the patterns and the things we see. We don't make the connection, but a lot of times, if we tap into who we are, even these clients, sometimes they are a reflection of us. They are a reflection of somebody in our past. They are a reflection of how we maybe once were. But I really got to really take on the work instead of just looking at it as this is accounting work, this is getting the book straight. I really started looking at this is the problem I can fix in the world, and really started educating myself on how I could get better at fixing those problems. And even another side of it, even with expanding my team, because this is the thing, if a business is totally reliant on you, it's not reliable. That also sparked me to get it together with the teams, get the systems together, because if you really want to solve this problem in the world, it's going to take more of you to do it. And so it was also that thing of getting that part together so that we could serve more and we could serve better. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. It's finding those places where that I think that's a good term. I should about what it is. Finding those sweet spots, as we might refer to it, of where we're able to bring value to the broader world, have success for us and our family, and doing it while enjoying it. I think there's a place for it that doesn't, I don't know, speak to the people who have struggles and things of that. It is a different journey, but that doesn't mean you're not having success in your own way from growth. And somewhere I know we were talking earlier, and it popped up. Oh, that's a good story to share for this particular. So I want to go ahead and share that.
Yeah, I have several origin stories, but the latest version of me, what?
And therefore, the best one.
I don't know. I became a profit first professional because I knew I struggled with my business, and I knew people struggled, and that made sense to me. But I'm a tax person, and really, I was just really compliant. I wasn't doing a whole lot of tax strategy, a little bit of advising and stuff like that. And I had it in the back of my mind, always wanted to do it. But what got the ball rolling is a couple of years ago, I started working with a client that owned some dental offices. They were a dental service organization. So they buy into these dental offices essentially and manage them very poorly, I would say. And they were wanting to implement profit first so that they could manage these offices better. But they also got involved with a person that claimed to be a tax strategist and did a great sales job. And even on me too, I'm going to take a little responsibility, not all the responsibility, because I was like, I don't really know anything about what he was doing or whether it was legit or not. But anyway, he was selling these research and development tax credit. He was doing tax strategy around that. That's very specific. So that kind of raised my guard up. But he was the tax strategist and working with the management of this company. And every time I raised a question about it or something doesn't smell right, are you sure this is how this? Oh, he's the tax strategist. Yes, everything's documented. Everything is talked about with these dental. They were selling it to other dental owners too, right? Not just within their system. They weren't explaining things right, and it ended up the tax credit. If you can even implement it for some of these dentists, the tax credit, because there's very strict rules about the research and development credit. And you can only take the credit on the payroll side for the employer taxes, not the employee. So they didn't tell these dentists how to do that. They were supposed to be making the payroll tax deposits for the employee side. They were taking this money and they were spending it on other things instead of making their payroll taxes. So anyway, I saw all this happening and then started doing a deep dive into the R&D credits and saying, listen, this is not right. Y'all are not doing this right. You're not advising people on their payroll responsibilities or anything like that. Oh, he's the strategist. It's handled. We'll take care of it, kind of thing. I'm trying to shorten this story, but it's not going to happen. Anyway, the tax strategist, not related to R&D credits, but anyway, he has been in prison. He was indicted on a federal charge for I think fraud and money laundering. So that really opened my eyes and was the impetus of me about a year ago getting my certified tax coach and getting into tax planning and getting the training that I needed, because along with that, you've got these experts, not experts on TikTok that is spreading misinformation, wrong information. If it's too good to be true, you guys, it's too good to be true. You probably should not participate, or you should get more information about a tax strategy from someone that really knows what that is. So anyway, the dentists, they've gotten letters from the IRS that they have not made their payroll tax payments. And so they've got to work through all that now with their CPAs. And of course, the main strategist is imprisoned. So you're not going to get much help there. But like I said, it was the jumping point for me. I'd been wanting to do tax planning, tax strategy for a long time. I just had never made the time to add it to my practice. And that is what got the ball rolling. I just could not let people fall into this trap, this horrible trap where they're going to end up owing a lot of money for something that they did wrong, that's someone, an expert, advised them to do.
I love that. That really goes into purpose and really humanity. We don't think about it like that, but we are doing our part too.
Yeah, and it spoke in line with what Jason said about it's Ikigai. Is that how you say it?
I'm sure somebody else will say I did it incorrectly, but
I got it backwards. My passion and my core interest is tax and accounting, and I'm good at it, right? And the world needs it. There's a value there, and I can get paid for it. So I like that whole concept.
I'll add my story 2 cents worth of it.
Third cent. 1, 2, 3.
Third cent. Okay. We're stepping out. We're stepping outside of the box. It's similar to somebody. There's a little bit of an origin story of coming across Pop First around October 2019. I was at crossroads business-wise. I'd stopped to doing some international consulting and was looking for what am I going to do next. And my last work in the accounting finance world, at least full-time, was basically a fractional controller, showing up at the client site, working with the business owner, on-site bookkeeper, getting things usually once a week to once a month, depending on, and having clients not listen to what we talked about, implementing the things that we were discussing, and why it was such a struggle to get those, even when there was individuals of support around many of the clients from their own team, and still having issues getting that in there, and having clients not listen to what we were discussing, and in many cases agreeing to, frustration building to the point where I actually got out of the industry for a good period of time, other than a small consulting with a CPA firm to set up their bookkeeping group for about a year. I was out of the accounting world, business advising world, because of not being able to make a difference. I enjoyed what I was doing. I made money at it, but I wasn't making the impact with clients that I wanted to. And that got resolved once I came across Pop First, because as soon as I heard Mike talking about it in the book, because I got the audio. That could be another discussion, how to learn, and audiobooks are I'm their biggest fan right now. But having him talk about that, it's like, this is exactly what I needed. And within a few weeks of hearing that book, opportunity came up to get back into it, specifically in e-commerce. And that's how things got started. And having, again, all 4 of those line out for me, being able to make money at it, be able to make a difference, solve obviously bigger problem, and enjoy doing, because that's what I enjoy, is seeing my clients be successful. And if I couldn't do that, why? Yeah, I can make money, but I don't feel that's a good thing if I'm making money, but my clients aren't as well. And that's one of the standards we're judged by, right or wrong, that we're making a difference financially for our clients and things. And so similar, that I was able to get alignment through adding Profit First to my knowledge base, and then being able to teach clients and seeing the difference that they're able to enjoy by adopting those practices from Profit First. So finding all those, I think that term durability for a business, and most of the literature is around bigger companies. You can see it through people like, I don't know, Walt Disney, or some of the other stories that are more famous, I guess you'd say, or broadly across different literature, that the durability of a business, I think, becomes in effect when the owner, and those later on down the road, the people in the company enjoy what they're doing, that they're finding that as well. I think many people are searching for something that satisfies economic needs, but also is enjoyable, something they can go to on a regular basis. And the most durable companies have those same tenets that we were just talking about with alignment as well, I think.
Yes, I love that. And that's one of the reasons why one of the pillar principles of Profit First is paying yourself. Because like you said, it's one thing if you're making money and your clients aren't. But it's another thing if you are doing something and you are not making any money or you are not paying yourself. And this is something that I didn't even think was possible before I started doing this work. A lot of times when we hear a seven figure business, we got it in our mind that somebody is living high on the hog. Oh, but we just got it in our minds because $1 million is the number, right? And I can't tell you how many businesses that I've saw making $1 million upwards, and the owner is not even paying themselves. Because I get it. We need to build the business. We need to invest, but it is very hard to get up and do something every day if you cannot meet your basic needs.
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And when I've been there where there's been times where money get tight and the temptation is, okay, I won't pay myself. But I'm like, no, we can't. Because there was a point in my business where I was building it and bringing it on. And I'm like, okay, if I just get it to this point, and I'm like, stop the madness. Stop the madness. You gotta walk it how you talk it. Because if you're not paying yourself, your bills are behind, how inspired can you even go out and solve that problem in the world?
Yeah. And I'll add to that is lenders include that in their analysis of loans as well. They'll call out if they see a business proposal or something or that the owner is not paying that, or at least including it in their projections. I've worked with clients who assume, hey, for the first 6 months, I'm not going to pay myself, or some low version of that. And the owner's like, no, we're not going to allow you to do that. We're going to underwrite. You need to adjust things. And people who work with money all day long are also requiring that for at least the work that they're doing. So I think we should be instructed and learn from that, given that that's what they're doing all day long. They're analyzing and seeing and tearing apart when there's a problem, what sort of the characteristics were. And so they're including that in some of their package when they're doing it all the time, at least in the clients I've worked with, that they build in, and it's not the IRS's version of reasonable salary, it's what the market would be for that particular as well.
And let's just put some common sense on it as a lender. If you're not paying yourself, how in the hell are you going to pay me my money? Because that's really how they're thinking about it. You know, of course, they would never say that to you, but that's really the premise they're using.
Yep.
They'll use their language to get the point across, but I think everybody probably understands Mashika's version of it.
Yeah. I think I've been transparent that because I acquired a business, right? CPA firm. And I think I've told everyone 1 million times, I did not pay myself the first 3 years, which is so wrong. So wrong, not enjoyable. I hated it. I hated the business. It made me hate the business. So once I got my life turned around and started paying myself and using Profit First and actually understanding how to actually run a business, life got a lot better and what I do got a lot more enjoyable.
That's it. So I got into a similar situation. It wasn't necessarily a business. I kind of got, let's get the system, let's get everything in place. So just invest back in the business. And it ended up paying off, but I'm not going to lie to you. Over time, I'm like, this ain't it. This is not it.
Not the way.
Because I realized that I wasn't having the same motivation. And it's like, because you're not paying yourself. You would never you would never say, hey, Mashika, I got this great job. Great benefits, great hours. The only thing is you never get paid. Nobody is taking that deal.
Except us.
Because we think we know better.
Yeah, we know better. It'll turn around.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
That's it. And don't get me wrong, we do need to make investments, but sometimes we will invest ourselves right into poverty.
Yep.
All three of us are laughing because we've all experienced it throughout our entrepreneurial careers. It's not from a place of, oh, I've never gone through that.
No.
Oh, funny over there. No, this is multiple times for each of us, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're laughing so we don't cry about
it. That's it. The old saying, preaching to the choir. So we're preaching to you, but we're preaching to ourselves.
Learn from us. Don't most of the time listen to what we say. this time, listen to what we say and don't do what we did.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because I'm telling you, that's not the move.
It's not a power move. It's not a flex move. You're gonna pay for it.
Not a boss babe move. Yeah, for sure.
And like I said, you would never take that deal from anybody else. But you can't shortchange yourself now.
Find one of your friends, explain exactly what you're doing in your own business, and see if they take that deal.
Yeah.
There you
Most
go.
of us know if we're doing that, we're too embarrassed to tell our
Yeah.
friends.
That could be the new talk content, interviewing friends with what you're doing to yourself. Entrepreneurs interviewing their friends like, hey, would you take this deal? What the heck are you talking about? Anything more we want to add to this one?
No, I think this has been a great episode.
I'm glad we can laugh at ourselves.
Yes.
You have to, because this is such a journey. And sometimes it's a very lonely journey. And a lot of times we don't talk about a lot of things that's going on. Even our family, friends, y'all know it. Even no matter how much your family and friends love you, no matter how much you trust them, unless you are on this journey, it is very hard to understand what comes along with it. And I say this a lot. A lot of times it is not even just managing the business, it's also managing your nervous system, because you can literally have everything you want, be on the mountaintop in the morning. An hour later, the deal falls through and you back. And it's like you're constantly managing your emotions as you bring more people into the business. Because once you bring someone into your business, whether they're a contractor or an employee, they are a reflection of your business. We see it all the time on the news, social media, where people show up in these companies and don't do the right thing. And the next thing you know, the company is dragged through the mud. You have to manage all of that.
That could be a whole nother episode.
It really could, now that I'm thinking about it.
It could, and it speaks to for our subject actually, which is finding people who align, again, that term, what the values are, if hopefully they've stated them, and more importantly, that they're even rare, that they're adhering to those values. But that's where almost all of this, when I look at the background and the context of the story, have been a misalignment of the values of the individual in the company, where one is out of step with the other, and that creates those situations coming up. Yes, there's mistakes, but I think when it becomes very visible on social media is the dichotomy that the observers have between the parties involved in those situations.
I agree.
There'll be, I think, a few more episodes around this as we're terminating metaphysics and money episodes. So we'll finish up today's episode. Thanks again, everybody, and look forward to seeing you again on a future episode of Those Odd Numbers.
See you later.
Bye.
This content is for general informational purposes only and is based on current law and guidance as of the date of recording. Tax law and regulations are subject to change. This discussion should not be considered tax, legal, or investment advice. Listeners should consult their own tax or financial professional regarding their specific situation.